for Haven. That's except for
An
Haven.
interesting stat, actually. One of the most picked agents for today in VCTC, Vice. Where did that come from? We don't know, but we are going into the series between Sipto as well as NAOS Esports. How does NAOS mesh though? We'll find out. Sipto, can they continue the run from the promotions relegations? NAOS has a lot of flexibility though, Riku. Savvy, PTC, Patman. I think all those players can swap around some roles and agents for quite a good amount. Sultan has proven to be a very stable controller, and you always have Mojer, who has been the NAOS brand since forever. Savvy though. Quick start. Mark L, the only Pinoy on the Sipto side, goes down first.
There we go. It is the tag team Mojer, even pushing more space onto Market.
And Riza on the barrel, gets the shot going, patent falls, Fixie prepared for this one too, and Sipto answer back in kind. Well played by the Rays too. Very quick reaction here by Sipto. And on the short they go. Savvy 8K tries to fight for his life, gets one for his troubles, but Fixie's found a third. He's racking up these kills here. Riku Wingman on the plant. And with PTC all alone, PTC looking to make this quite a test for Sipto. Spike planted now. Where's the more default angle? Shower hold here from the rest of Sipto. Flash comes out. No intel. Nice peek out from Fixie. Fixie feeling it. And a strong start here from Sipto as Fixie finds 4.
That was basically a death parade that Sipto assembled over there. It was quite the, you know, the slow approach, just pure silence. But it was who spotted who first, and it was Sipto spotting out that barrel. Fixie with a 4-0. This would definitely send into that, makes that ultimate build up much easier to get that snowball on the road. I mean, good first blood from the side of NAOS, but Sipto wasn't faced at all for that, what happened.
Yeah, and Fixie, he had such an incredible showing against the Vietnamese squad that was the Unicorns in, I think, what, 2 days ago? And from that point on, he's really woken up here in VCTC. Such a strong showing at the very start. Market hold yet again, and even if Sipto loses their lurk early, they know how to double back, get the catch onto perhaps an overextension by the defense, and that's why they stack up in this position at the start of these rounds.
Arcro's positioned as well for any sort of aggression. But yeah, you're right. Like this disciplined stack on the side of NAOS to not over-aggress, try to react a bit more because they fell from a stack, and the stack of death is under short right now.
Sipto all together, holding hands, moving into the site. The shear, though, should pop soon. They know it's around. They're going to synchronize the push itself. The stim beacon making it easier, but oh! 3 of them actually left behind. Can't just leap over the wagon anyway. Spike now planted.
30
and no, actually it's not. Sipto eventually going to put that one down after the initial stall by NAOS. A push even. Now into spawn. Savvy 8K. Expecting this though. Fragment does some good damage, but Fixie again on the mark with the shot. Markel also getting on the board. And Sipto, overwhelming answers here in the first 2 rounds. Fixie with another. He's close to the showstopper, and it's 2-0 here for Sipto.
The one getting the most kills were the Ghost users in that round for Sipto. Just a lot of control. I mean, you know, quite expected, but at the same time, NAOS couldn't do as much damage onto the economy of Sipto moving forward. But here comes the buy round, and you know, it's about that having the overwhelm after the stack sort of aggresses, I think, is a pinpoint where NAOS can't stop just yet. Maybe they're able to improve after this or during this buy round and identify what they can do better. That's a fast jump into baths.
Very quick response from Sipto. Well-placed flash into the well-placed position. Fixie is automatic. PTC falls. The flash comes out from Savvy 8K2, but to no avail. NAOS find no contact. Sipto, not only did they get that pick there, Riku, but they get the orb. Fixie now ready with a showstopper.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? That's the reason why we mentioned the Arc Rose was on Bats to prevent this from happening, but he was the one that fell from battle. Great job. Here comes a peek.
Oh, Riza. Trying to mark that angle. Mojer the one. Taking a step-by-step process to peek on out. But Sipto has other plans. A good rotation now to move across. Consideration to play into short, but Mark L has been holding by Fountain for quite a while to open up that B site. And you can see Patman too. Hookah right now for NAOS. Very much so a hold close position. But the Trailblazer will make it dicey. Showstopper's out. Mosh pit the response. Fixie though still on the hunt. Who's the victim of the Showstopper? Patman's gone. Same can be said for Sultan. And NAOS, they're just ill prepared for everything Sipto's throwing at them. That might just be the round given up here.
Yeah, they've got to save. This stack of death has been so effective for the side of Zipto, and just as you said, it feels like every single moment, the step-by-step process, the flow chart, if you will, feels like it's just operating at full capacity for Zipto. They're always ready for any sort of situation. And mind you, that's NAOS' buy round. That's supposed to try at least keep this close, but Zipto, the showstopper, they're just every single thing covered as well, from Mark L coming from long to destroy Patman over there, just trying to seek refuge as the showstopper was activated. This is Zipto with an amazing start here on Bind.
Incredible effort, and we see it especially from Fixie, right? Sure, the whole team helped us on out to get that showers control, but Fixie has been one of the most impressive initiates here in VCTC. Him on the Duelist, 8-0 right now, Rico.
Yeah.
If you look at the stats from the promo relegations, he had the second most first kills in that whole run, second only to Khan. So Fixie has been feeling it the past few days. If he can keep this up, then that can be exactly what Sipto needs to keep tipping the scales in their favor.
Yeah, absolutely. The fact that you get showstopper at round number 3 is pretty crazy. Let's see now though. Might be again, the stack of death has to be dealt with. It feels like a constant bulldozer, which area they decide to attack. It has been quite effective, and how do you slow this down is the biggest question.
Yeah. Now still 2 guns at the ready. You have Patman on one side, Mojer on the other. And speaking of Mojer, holding close into the cubby, Sipto silent at the start of these rounds. The guiding light, the only signal from NAOS to know there is presence nearby here by B. Knife thrown in response. Gets no intel. Patman the one peeking on out, but here comes the punish, and Fixie is on it yet again. Another first kill to the Rays. And a TP on out as Mojer catches Mark L in response. The 4v4. Satchel's out. Fixie confident to go for the push, but the shear will make it very difficult to make this push happen. Thorns live, Razorvine in the way. PTC trying at least to find an angle to peek from this one. Mojer also holding steady there by short. But the wall shall come on out as soon as 3 go for the cross. Rizza here alongside the rest, but Mojer surprises many. It's PTC also taking the timing, and it is a 2v2 now. Spike planted there. And, well, Sipto, they go for Lamsier, Rico, and NAOS. They have height, but the guns, that disparity is going to be difficult for them.
Yeah, they've got the angle. 20 seconds until the knife. It's a lot of time being bought here. They need to move now.
Sultan the one though, with the rifle on hand. Going to play into Lamsier. Boombot confirms those suspicions. And it's avoided actually. Sultan has the timing. Sultan has the chance with the double up. Sultan transfers and finds the tussle against the double. This is why he's been picked up by NAOS. And there you go, a first round for the defense.
Amazing transfer and amazing thrifty at that as well. It felt like the round was over into a 4-0. They had good positioning, but the timing, the reads, the game sense coming from Sultan there really did the job. And the fact that there is a lot carried over onto this round as well, including the potential of an orbital strike from him, is just a really big factor to just close that gap against Zipto and play catch up. Zipto, I felt like they definitely they sort of had that. They had eyes on the spike. They could rotate, but again, Sultan really did an amazing job.
They also had those suspicions there from Sipto. The Boombot didn't get the intel.
Right.
Still wanted to check the lamps anyway, but quick reactions there from Sultan. Closing that round off, and it's a boon here for NAOS. Now they have the guns to shear again, slowing down the push. Sipto has done a good job to just not get desynchronized by the Vice Utility, and Mark L now gets his revenge versus Mojer. A pick to open up this A site. Plant comes down quickly from the wingman, and Fixie is unrelenting on the pressure. The advance from Sipto, and PTC's caught up pushing through the snake bite. Savvy 8K though, beautiful angle. Pac-Man saved to be sent from heaven. At 3v2 now, the Viper's pit. Keeping everything afloat here for the side of Sipto. Rizza on the outside. Pac-Man spotted, sure. But Savvy's the one who gets the find onto Mark L. 3 for the KO now. Low HP for Rizza. High-low the drop down. Instantaneous trade courtesy of Sultan. And the second round here for NAOS Esports.
I thought at one point there was going to be a lineup potential after Sultan dropped from heaven, but it is a good cover from the side of NAOS. Honestly, the opening frags, the opening executes by Zipto is pretty scary. Their 4-1 split has been proven to be effective. You know, they did that on B as well. Earlier in A, that's how they got access to site. Mark L has been very highly capable of playing that, you know, that solo area. But at the same time, you know, it feels like NAOS is now finally sort of ramping up as well. The retake has been much better. Always has been incredibly close so far for, you know, these 5 rounds. But they're able to make it work and slowly build that up.
Yeah. NAOS Esports, they're finding more and more of the answer here. Patman also picks up the orb 1 away from the Thrash now. And while Sipto still settle on the 4-1 split, Markel has been a very interesting case here for Sipto, putting the pressure onto A with the toxic screen. The rest of the offense trying to take Hookah and maybe go for a 2-prong attack to clear things out. With utility, the Boombot confirming there's no one home. Still though, no real opening. With that utility, Riku, the KO of Savvy AK moves on towards B, but for now it's more of a standoff.
I love this, you know, adjustment. They're playing a bit more on towards the site rather than taking space onto Bats or on to jungle and, you know, honest garden rather. And NAOS, I like this adjustment. You pull them into the site, you sort of want to sandwich them afterwards, force them to make a play. 30 seconds on the clock now. Spike hovering onto B. This could be the call.
There's the vines though towards those default positions. PTC needs to be careful on the peek on out. Sipto realized B might be easier to hit here, but Sultan still awaiting any kind of push-outs. Trailblazer now, able to catch him. Molly the response, there's the double up here from NAOS. Sultan now burning Fixie where he stands. Pick comes in the defense's favor, 5v4. Looking for any kind of opening. Try and push back with. Thrash though, massive! The detain is on 3! Hands up! You're all victimized here by Sipto squad! And the firing squad just pushes in and wipe out NAOS. Mark L finishes off the job and it's a 4-2 now for Sipto.
No way. I understand. You know, there was indeed a lot of time in favor of NAOS to do the retake, try to clear, you know, the flank, a possible flank from A to B, but after that, Zipto just pulled the trigger and like, okay, you may have time, but we're gonna rush you. And that's exactly what happened with the Thrash, with a triple detain. That was massive. And now, an understandable timeout here, because it felt like NAOS had all the tools to do the retake. It's just the quick thinking from Zipto to just force them into a very, very awkward situation.
Yeah, and Sipto has been finding incredible reactions within these sites, right? The adjustment from Sipto to put that pressure into elbow, send that Thrash, and from that point on, now it's just way too close to one another, getting entrapped really by the Sipto utility. So this timeout here from Coach Amix. They found 2 rounds here, Riku, but they haven't been the easiest. Sipto, on the other hand, with that side control, with the initial picks courtesy of Fixie, it's been a lot easier for them for the past half year.
I agree. I really thought it was going to be quite the difficult round with 30 seconds on the clock, and it's a complete like 5v5. But then NAOS, or rather Zipto, just have just the confidence to extend time and just execute what they needed to do. The flow chart, again, doing wonders. The mental flow chart. Now let's see what the answer is after that timeout.
Well, Markel, slow play at the start. Mojer goes for the swing out, takes a bit of damage, and eco here for NAOS. But they do have 3 ultimates to work with. Sipto, though, still good at avoiding that initial contact with the bulk of their forces. They go for B-long here. Mark L might get the catch onto Patman. Patman to swing out again. Patman wins the fight. And that's a beginning here that NAOS can work with. Razorvine in the way, Flaring, and the rest do try to go for the push into Elbow. Separate into squads of 2. While this happens, a plant towards the backside. We hear the thrash now. Being lobbed here by NAOS. Doesn't get much. Fragment too late to prevent the spike from being planted. But Fixie, he needs to be the tip of the spear. The vanguard here with the rifle on. Had the steel guard and waiting way too long to initiate. And Fixie has found a double to stop the action before it even starts. Sipto ready for all the angles in the 5th round here for the offense.
I am in awe with the micro decisions that a lot of the individual players that Zipto has. Even though they're setting up for this death ball, they spread out after post plant, and every single player are really, you know, holding their ground. But of course, we can't, you know, like Fixie, can't forget about Fixie just dealing a lot of pain against NAOS. And now it does feel like NAOS digging deep a little bit here. We'll have to see how this operator is going to shine with the showstopper available for Mojer as well.
So well coordinated here by Sipto so far. The entries from Fixie have been sublime, but Mojer might have find the answer here with the op. Flash though is perfection, and the showstopper to be the threat. Sent out, Mojer gets away with his life, albeit barely. 20 HP. The goop from the Dizzy also confirming his backside presence. But Savvy 8K has gotten the catch onto Markel. NAOS now with 2 to the name. PTC getting double of his own. Flaring though. Beautiful open up, but PTC some medicine lamps. And now NAOS swarm the site on back and will get the retake going. A 3rd round here for NAOS.
Quite the scrappy entry, quite the scrappy fight. The position of PTC over onto Lamps to just deal a lot of damage from that big crossfire from a player onto down onto Heaven really was quite effective here. Even though they tried to rush and push PTC, he still did not budge at all. At least they get to keep that operator. I believe they're able to pick it out, bring it over, and we didn't get to see that value just yet, but the fact that it is still there is going to be still some pressure and presence in the map.
Yeah, now it seems like their anchor play seems to be the answer here for the past few rounds on the defense. If they can stay on the site and still be a thorn on the Sipto side, allows them to at least separate the fight. But Mark L answers back versus Mojer. He can play the op too. Man used to play Chamber a lot, but picture for Sipto. They leave the corner unchecked. Patman now uncontested. Gets the double. PTC now with the helping hand. And NAOS, they get the catch. They trap the opposition. Sheer also for the cover. PTC perfectly played. An initial anti-flash into the leap on out. Gets the catch onto Rizza. All up to Markel now.
Has to keep the gun or else it's going to be incredibly expensive. I still have to keep guessing where he was, but beautiful decision making. But Sultan?
Sultan sees it. Easy.
Yeah.
Perfect shot there from Sultan. NAOS Esports. That's what they want to do on the defense. Just really catch Sipto in the act there.
Yeah, I want to, that was great distraction coming from the side of PTC. I'm going to be onto this corner by the box outside of Hookah, use myself as distraction. And, that coordinated play with Pat then really did wonders of that death stack. And at that point, we constantly see this big 4-1 split from Zipto, Mark L getting a pick from across the map. But if they don't give that and they do their own kind of sandwich to just really deter that death ball, it can be proven to be effective. Mojer doesn't get an angle just yet.
Oh, Op though sees the shoulder now.
Oh!
Well, Fade Shells didn't see that one. And Sipto still. Fixie's gotten in there. And he needs the rest of the team to try and make this eco work. But no surprise to see if Sipto loses one, they go for the timeout. Now, though, on the other hand, gun advantage clear. Suka, the wingman's plant does get cancelled, and the spike is now in an awkward spot. It's over at backside. Just tips over to the other side of the map and into NAOS' hands. Molly, though, in the way. Savvy 8K catching out Suka. PTC, the one providing cover. And while Fixie gets the catch onto Savvy, it's Patman with the 3. And NAOS Esports, decisive round there to tie things up.
Yeah, that's true. Makes me wonder where the wingman was going in amongst the chaos. It ended up being in the middle. Was it a backside plant of some sort? But yes, if NAOS really did an amazing job with the hold that they had. They couldn't really, even though they were able to flush out Mojer, the operator player, off of lamps and get a bit more space towards that direction, they still couldn't remove that pressure off of the map. So again, things are, slowly shaping up for the side of NAOS.
Yeah, NAOS Esports finding their form. And Sipto's the one who has to find the adjustment here. The 4-1 now getting caught out pretty early on. It's NAOS also able to stabilize as much as they can on site, and we've seen this from the likes of PTC. We've seen it from Sultan. Patman also finding the off angles in some of these fights fairly quickly. It's been so helpful for NAOS because Sipto love to swarm the site, right, Riku? But if they can't get the whole A site or the whole B site, that's where NAOS finds the openings and gets the picks that they need.
Yeah, I really love the adjustment of NAOS here on their defense. During the first few iterations of the rounds, they always want to play forward. One player going to be going advanced into short. You get to see what PTC play on bats with your arc rows to prevent from any aggressive plays. But they're playing a bit far back now. They want to give a bit of space and then encircle them after. And I think after that adjustment, it has been more effective. Basically not giving the 1v1s to Mark L on a 4-1 split and just waiting for them to just create chaos, and then you take advantage of that.
Well, they still got lurked up for the Viper. Initiate comes from the short side. Suppress, though, is massive. Shot even bigger. And it's not just one operator here, Riku. There's still pressure from all fronts. Mojer now moving into shower. You got Savvy 8K in position alongside Sultan to go for the push out. Sultan shrugs off the shorty. It's NAOS now with the push again. Flaring though. Big headshot onto Sultan. Hands up for Suka. He's a victim there in the corner. Mojer now. Ops good. And that should be enough for the round. Markel, a long distance run to try and make it to even contest. We'll just save the gun for the rainy day. That's NAOS right now with their 6th round.
There it is. I mean, again, a lot of the opening rounds for Zip, though, has been Mark L lurk 4v5. But then if you remove that equation off of the table, it is now on Zipto's hands to sort of play for time, find a pick themselves, and sort of deny that 4-1 split. And it makes me wonder what Zipto is going to do this time, do differently, especially that they have to deal with a Steel Garden. They have to deal with a Null Command. They do have a lot of key ults almost ready for themselves, so I assume Bats could be the target and get that orb.
Go in the shower. Sipto has done a good job to put pressure on that angle for most of this half. NAOS, though, taking that lead away last round of the first half here, Riku. And speaking of NAOS, they still go for the stack on up towards B long this time around. PTC playing from above, a good angle to pop that Steel Garden if A does get taken. That's really Savvy, the one to watch out for at the very start of these fights. Can't go for the suppress towards Hookah, and Sipto are moving that way too.
That could be first contact as well on top of the box. At least Scout. No trades whatsoever just yet of coverage, but he has that first angle.
Crash online, and Sipto look to force the issue. Fragment, though, will be the response from Savvy. It does stall the push quite a bit. Savvy given the time to line up a shots. But Mark L makes the KO Neil. And effectively, we're in a 3v3. Patman, though, and Sultan still with long control. NAOS have a pinch possible. Steel Garden now, and trapping them in PTC's domain. Sipto, there's the fight back. Silence quickly by Sultan. 7-5 to end it, and NAOS, they find the answers as the game has gone on. It's at least a lead for them to go into their attack. Yeah, we're coming back into the action here, guys. NAOS Esports having a great rally at the end. 5 rounds in a row to take the lead away from Sipto. The defense here for Sipto. A stack towards Bilong. Rizza also looking to scout things out. A 2-pronged attack from NAOS now. The lineup into guard, and there's even a mosh pit to add more so pressure to it. But Mojer saddles in. Dizzy also pressures on Mark L, contained in the tin can. And now as the flood works, the overrun on B side is confirmed.
Wow, they just picked up the pace and then upped it up to 1,000. And now it is on the retake ends for Flaring and Pixie. A lot of damaged members from Mojer and Savvy. But it's really hard when they're in post-ban positions already.
Yeah. Just so tough. Patman also posted up towards elbow. You got Flaying here as Smoke. So at least go for cover. Pixie taps it, tries to bring out a few members of NAOS. But Patman has already found Pixie. Flaring responds, but Mojer gets the 3K. And that's a good start for NAOS on this pistol. Try to build up that showstopper as quick as possible.
That's the scary part, because if they're able to, you know, speed up the process of that execute without the showstopper, I don't know what could happen with it. 3 kills on the board already for Mojer on the second half. This could be deadly. 8-5 now. Really curious to see with Patman as well, building to the ult economy. And if they keep this up, this could be deadly for ZipTo if they don't hold their ground and slow down the process.
Well, they're gonna try to deny resources at the very least. Give the orb towards Pixie. Take that one away from NAOS' control. But NAOS, a bit wise to the plans of ZipTo. Playing it very safe. Doesn't want to get something surprised by a push on out here from Rizza. Suppress also gets the intel. Similar setup here for ZipTo, and NAOS knows it. They're gonna head their way into A instead.
Sounds like a sound plan. Again, NAOS. Maybe ZipTo wants to do the enveloping this time around as they're on defense. Give up some space. Let's just come from all different angles. Fire from all cylinders. Let them plant and then play retake. This could be a possibility. Yeah.
Vroom, vroom.
Vroom, vroom.
The engine goes brrr. Let's go fast. Well, Suka. Now he's just roadkill 2. Mojer there. Now let's get the pick. You got Markel. Having to stay in position because of the paint shells. And Patman, alongside PTC, an inkling of what's going on towards Showers. Versus surprising Savvy AK. Beautiful flash. Also, he's just gonna try to go for the gun. I respect the attempt, Rizza. But Sultan just tracks him down. Markel now with a swing on out. Now it's still stable on the side. Pixie. Good paint shells at least to keep them inside the last. PTC on the board. Markel now finally catching out Mojer. But now it's overall. Have the numbers. Get the jump going. PTC and Patman, they're so low HP. They don't want to peek that one out. Maybe Sultan can finish off the job. Patman does it himself. Now with their 9th.
And all of a sudden, we thought, you know, ZipTo had almost seemingly full control. Felt like everything was going in their favor, at least for the first, 3 to 4 rounds earlier. But NAOS, after having to do their own adjustments and then pick up the pace after the switch to, again, just really dictate the pace of the game, was just a completely different look for NAOS. And now it's ZipTo's turn. They don't have to worry much about the 4-1, maybe now with PTC being left to his own devices. But so far, it's that fast execute, flying across the map onto the site, get picks, is something that they have to deal with before anything else.
Yeah, and this bonus is looking pretty contentious actually here for NAOS. Only 2 Guardians, the rest on regular rifles. ZipTo on the other hand, you want to have Flaring Pixie playing into this A site. And while they're still angling for Showers, the smokes do come out. And here comes the push into short. Spray down from Flaring, gets nothing really of value. They do have a fallback plan into Showers. PTC can't find the pinch because of the toxic screen in the way. But no plan as of yet from NAOS Esports. Need to retrieve that. Smoke's gone. Savvy thinking about the push. Dangerous angle though. Still tries to play backside anyway. And his risk is rewarded. Flaring though holds Sultan off. Suka also with the catch onto Mojer. Savvy now a familiar corner, but Suka a better result. ZipTo fighting back. 4v2, perfect chance for them. Patman tries to get more than one. It's Suka instead with the triple already. And PTC stalling with the vines. This is his garden, and this is his territory. 2 fall down, but Rizza shows up when he's needed the most. ZipTo, it was a very much so expensive buy round, but they get the round nonetheless.
Well, those shots, the first 2 shots from PTC was very scary. Felt like a triple from one thing to another, but good thing the coverage was there and the arc rose was not played on the site itself. It was actually inside lamps. So good thing. If it felt like if that was in that, I feel like we would have a different ending to that story. But still, you know, NAOS, that was still pretty close. They kept it really expensive, just as you said. But Zipto, they're finding their footing here, as they've been quite stuck at 6 for quite a while now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a matter of conditioning, right? Sipto, if they could keep holding Shower, Naos will always be watching out for the backs if they play into A. Flaring, they're doing wonders in that last round. Speaking of, Flaring alongside Pixie, holding hands into Showers now. Pixie up close, but Mojer gets the 1-up. Patman's there for the cover. And this is the clear that Naos has been looking for. They can play into A, but PTC and Sultan are giving another avenue. PTC though caught on the lurk. Sultan still around. Spike planted, Mark L out in the open, but Sultan hits the shot. Has to back away, no escape. 3v3 now here, Riku.
I mean, would you, like, it's one of those instances that I saw the lurk, then maybe no second player afterwards, but guess what, there is. But fortunately, could not able to maximize that potential. But let's take a look. 3v3. You have Suka's... Oh! Never mind, doesn't even need it.
Nasty there from Rizza. Patman though. Patman! Perfect angle. Wingman's on the defuse. Markel with the cover too. And Sipto Esports. That's an impressive way to win that one, Riku. Catch the lurk. Go for the retake. Still win it all anyway.
Catch the double lurk at that, right? From Zipto, able to get the numbers. Oh, well, able to equalize the numbers at that. Get the additional kills from Heaven to short. And then not even needing to use the Thrash at that point and be able to deliver it over here for the next round, where it's a bit of an eco rather on the side of Naos. They're still holding on to their showstopper and their own Thrash, so I guess they'll have to wait and see. But it's coming in close for Zipto.
Zipto, they're holding these angles better and better as this defense is going on. And speaking of, Pixie catching Patman early. Strong start here for Zipto. Moshpit also prevent that initial plant. Pixie, nice paint shells. Mojer has to back away from the angle. Here comes the volley too. And Flaring now. Flaring! How does he keep getting away with his life? Flaring, the sprint master. His feet can kill. His gun can kill too. And Zipto Esports, they're coming back into this one, Riku. It's now 8 for the defense.
It's so crazy. You're right. Like, how does Flaring keep getting away? The timing feels like... No, I feel it like an actual spider senses. It does feel like he moves at the precise moment, even if he's like his back against his opponent. It's just truly the spider senses.
Yeah, tech pause real quick. But Flaring, not the most kills, but for the past few rounds in this defense, Showers is mostly still in Zipto's favor because he survives anything they throw at him. I don't know, man, but this is just what Zipto is really good at, right? When you make a small mistake, when you give a small opening, Zipto has been very much so one of the strongest teams to capitalize on that fact, and we're seeing it right now in this 3-round streak.
Oh yeah, they'll not have any opportunity slip by their fingers at all. If they see it, they will maximize it. And that's the scary part about Zipto Esports. It's, again, now when they do their execute, it executes. It must be clean. If they see an opportunity, their shots have to land. If that misses, they can turn it around and just basically flip the table.
Well, quick little tech pause here, guys. I think one thing I've noticed, actually, for the past few games here, Riku.
Yes.
Most of our teams don't have a bootcamp. I think Full Sense a while ago, one of them. Mm-hmm. But I'm surprised NAOS actually has everyone all together here in the PH. That probably flying out PTC and Sultan. Yeah. I was very surprised to see that.
That's true, especially during the group stages as well, which makes, you know, the decision making of, you know, the organization to make sure that, you know, the chemistry is set from the very beginning, which makes a lot of sense. We like in the pre-show we saw all the teams involved over here at VCT SEA. It's just
they got
a lot.
some backing. They got
Yeah,
some backing.
exactly.
I see you. And we see this timeout now for NAOS Esports. Has been a great string of rounds here for Sipto. And as you've said, they're just not letting any opportunity slip by. The punish has been strong from players like Riza, from Flaring. Mark L has been getting some shots too. And as of right now, I think the stall potential from Sipto has also been impressive. They really prevent NAOS from playing off that initial attempt to plant that spike, and it's been working to make it very dangerous for NAOS to even get into both plant.
Oh yeah, I agree with you there, 100%. The fact that they're unable to plant the spike almost immediately because they know it's probably not the safest option to do just yet, but that gives time for the rotation to come in for a full-on 5v5, and that puts their initial execute to a bit of a disadvantage. So you're right, Zipto, adjusting on the fly. NAOS going to try their best to basically do what they did at the first half, where they, adjusted a bit of their play style and their positioning. So perhaps I expect a bit of a more slower start. We're playing for time and see how that works.
Yeah, and we see here from Sipto, right, when you have Suka in the roster, it's more of that utility-based kind of hold that we get from them. It's been very effective for the past few rounds. This is the NAOS map pick especially. And Sipto, after a good start, they've really crawled on back. After NAOS did get a good string of rounds, 7 throughout 2 halves there, Riku. Now Sipto 1 away from tying things up. But guns are out. And Sipto again, still the shower hold. It's been mostly effective for the past few rounds here. And there's no reason to give it up when it's been such a good point of contention versus NAOS.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially with the Viper wall that they have. Want to maximize that?
The push out, so smart here from Sipto. They go for the triple stack instead, and the guiding light gets used into the teleporter. PTC falls for that one. And NAOS can't even capitalize on that fact and push into B side. The snake bite for the stall. Mark L holding them off with that initial talk screen, and a good set play from Sipto to begin with.
Yeah, now having to operate from the back ends here. Might hesitate a little bit on using their ultimates to open up a site. And now quick rotations from Zipto as well, investing 3 members. This could be a good read from NAOS. But honestly, it can still rotate very fast if they're stopped by the rest of Zipto here that have the angles to work on.
And Mojo's presence means that Suka will still stick around shower just in case there's a TP play. NAOS though, inching their way through short, flaring now spotted by the boxes. Initial wing on plant, here comes the showstopper now. And the mosh pit is placed by Suka to go for the stall, but Mojo still searching for a target. Doesn't get the kill, flaring instead the one to fall to the hand of Sultan. Now it's no plant. Suka instead alive inside and gets that pick onto Fatman. Mojo responds, Pixie brings Sultan to the grave with him. And it's 2v2. Now still no plant as of yet. Time running out. Mark L might be the death sentence here. And there you go. Mark L gets the one. Mojo able to trade, sure. Time. Riza can play this wisely. It does get planted, sure. But Riza trying to juke out Mojo. Mojo though sees this coming! And Mojo finds it in him to win the 1v1. A 3 for Mojo and a 10th round for NAOS.
That was just pure chaos. You've got 2 showstoppers activated. You get to see just so many smokes just following about, and I feel like that's the reason why, there's just so much going on. Fixie is able to get a trade off at least, but this 1v1 is just so important to get to the double digits here. Despite not having a lot of time, you get to see how calm the rest of NAOS were.
Yeah, and now props to Mojo there. You can hear them saying it to one another. But Sipto still ready to contend. Fixie now, the operator in hand. Difficult to swing out due to the initial suppress from Savvy 8K. And now they don't want any of that piece. They back away, play into A here.
It's a little bit of deja vu here, except it's a switch of angles. It is now flaring, looking at Baths. The opposite can be said for Suka. You have that Thrash to stop this onslaught.
Mosh pit though. Again, stalled initial plant. It's been the bread and butter from Sipto on this defense for quite a while. Molly in the way. Patman trying to get Thrash onto the other side. PTC though, the one instead infiltrating. Showers now taken by NAOS. Arm wrestled away from flaring. Patman also wins his fight versus Suka. So 5v3 and NAOS with advantage. Spike planted on the default. Exactly how NAOS wants to set things up. Markel tries to get 2 for his troubles, but he can only find the solo. And by this point, Fixie will have to give it up. NAOS here commanding that A site, staying away from the operator and taking their 11th round from this.
Yeah, that's quite the overwhelming push coming from the side of NAOS. Just coming from all different angles, Bath short. And then after that, you know, the utility wasn't quite there. The push from the Thrash was just enough presence to create enough chaos for NAOS to take advantage. And it's just pretty much smooth sailing from there. Operator at least was saved, but we haven't exactly seen the value of this operator for, you know, this round at least. So hopefully A has been quite open for 2 rounds in a row. Perhaps it will be invested on towards that site instead.
But it's kind of tough here, Riku. Eco for the rest of Sipto.
Yeah.
The op is kind of just a saving grace, and we've talked about it with some of the other casters actually, where you get stuck in the loop with the operator, still save it, and then that means NAOS can get to 12 points.
Yeah.
It's a little tough if Fixie can't find the value, and you've said it, just I think in the last round, NAOS doing a good job to stay away from the initial action versus the Rays. Now they go for the contest onto Showers yet again. The suppress here though, preventing flaring Suka to fight for it. And now NAOS, an angle towards Shower. A play into short for house courtesy of PTC, who's setting things up. Fixie knows something is amiss. That's the wingman now is sent on out. Dizzy there too. Big goop onto Fixie, who can't find any angle to work with. Plant goes down. Do they know though that Lamps is where Fixie's at? Fixie though, under pressure, still gets the shot. Spike planted. Mojer also a victim leaping into those crosshairs. 5v3. We hear the Thrash being sent here by Suka. Flaring also. Flaring's frenzy says it all. Batman goes down. Now Sultan, easy takedown by Flaring yet again. Get out of his showers. That's his place to call home. And Sipto, a thrifty effectively to take their 9th round.
Wow. Everything truly changed after that first pick. The lamps not being clear really, you know, hurt that execute coming from the side of NAOS. They were able to flush out, you know, Fixie on top of Generator, but it wasn't enough to, you know, truly have a comfortable side take. So I thought the plan was going to be, you know, I'm gonna Viper Spit over here onto B. I'm gonna force everybody onto A, but it wasn't even invested. They still managed to keep this for the next round, and they can actually play with that strategy. So we'll have to see now. B is the answer for NAOS. They have the Steel Garden. It's quite possible.
Yeah, best case scenario for Sipto. Now they rebuild their eco. Now they have rifles alongside that operator. It's NAOS who needs to win this round just to stabilize. Angels now to go for the toss. Markel avoiding the initial area of effect there from the mosh pits. And NAOS knows there's a big presence inside that hookup. PTC lying in wait for the rest of NAOS now going towards long. And Rizza might see this coming. The jump peek now to go for confirm. The guiding light also to go for the cover. But Rizza can find the right angle at the right time. Gets into cover now. It's still NAOS with presence towards long. And they go for the null command. It does get suppressed, I believe, also onto Markel. That wall will go down. Suka instead with the catch onto Mojer. But NAOS now burning Suka and getting in there. Markel still statuesque, silent here. In the quiet primary jam. Now it's ready. Markel's still around. And it might be pivotal. Trigger discipline. Spots out Savvy, but Savvy wins the fight. Fixie from afar, the operator. It's time to bail on out, and NAOS. It got gritty there, Riku, but they'll find their 12th round now.
That felt like, you know, an almost successful covert operation. I'm going to face the wall and make sure my barrel probably doesn't stick out at this angle. But at the end of the day, you know, Savvy 8K was able to spot him out and just really deny that possible scenario where Zipto is able to take this. As NAOS It's gonna be 12-9. It's gonna be match point. Maybe not even carry over the operator across the next round. They did deny that. Now it's much, much cleaner over here on the tail ends of this potential, bind.
Yeah, I think they can maybe rebuy here. Yes, Fixie can go for it, but it's only light armor. Timeout now. Called though by Sipto. They're struggling during their buy rounds here, Riku. They're doing so much better on the eco. And we've seen from NAOS willing to expend as much utility and ultimates they can. The amount of space they got from both the Orbital Strike and the Steel Garden really allowed them to play into that B site.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, like as soon as they were able to enter the site, and Sipto wanted to defend, they just pressed that trigger. They even get to carry out a showstopper as well onto this round. This could really be super fast on the next round. But also, Viper Spit has been held for quite a while by Mark L. Let's see how they're able to, sort of, sheep herd NAOS Esports into another side instead where they're more comfortable of defending.
First, I heard from you a while ago, jungle. Now I hear sheep.
I know. I keep thinking, the nature. It's calling out to me.
I thought you were like Tagalog dubber, Rico. I didn't know you were doing some Nat Geo on the side.
I don't know. The exotic frog. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just gonna stop there.
The sands of bind will tell the time, but we are into the action yet again. And Fixie's operator, it's gone early on. The scope cracked, the mirror shattered, and Mojer with a pick to begin perhaps the end of Sipto. He has a showstopper available. They go for the flash to make it safe to cross through Cubby. Angels also, everything that NAOS can throw, they'll do so. And the showstopper now into showers. Suka! Oh, he still got it out in time. I honestly thought Suka got it before Mojer could pull the trigger. Moshpit also, pressure on flaring. He's gonna pop here, and Sultan will find his head. A 3v2 now, a pinch possible, courtesy of Mark L. NAOS, they're not committing as of yet. They catch out Riza now. And is that enough safety for NAOS? Do they still play into A? They go for the backside plant.
Spike planted.
This is quite a difficult path to tread. So many layers to go through. Only one person.
Yeah. Markel spots out PTC, but NAOS is making this so difficult to even get through. Now, Thrash, it's gone, but Sultan swings to find the third. And it's 13-9 in favor of NAOS.
Playing forward over here on map number 2. NAOS Esports already 1-0 in the series. Meanwhile, Zipto, let's see how they're able to continue momentum when they're able to get that early lead. Jump scare. I never really realized how huge this turtle head is.
Yeah. And it's for a bike shop. I think it's supposed to be a helmet, Riku. Like, come on.
My bad. Oops.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm just making stuff up along the way. But we're not making up what we're seeing here, guys. Now Esports with the 1 map lead. And yet again, as we stated before, Sipto still sticking around with Suka for map number 2. A different look with their composition. Does it stick the landing, though? That's the big question now. As Riza on the defensive pole alongside Pixie priming the flash. Here's the guiding light. The gate crash out. And Patman calling a lot of attention away with that Rams Fleece being bothered. PTC catching out flaring. Riza catching out PTC in response. So it's a 1-for-1. As Sipto do have an angle into A main. Double swing. 3-2-1. Beautiful timing to even flush out Mojer. But while this happens, Riku, it's a distraction we're going to be with the spike.
Wow, misdirection indeed. Spotting out the Yoru, teleporting, gate crashing out as they peeked with a flash. And surprise, surprise, they're actually over here on B. It's going to be, I would say, I thought it was going to be a tough hold, but looking at Riza, who can't heal himself, that is, you can get value off of that for sure. But let's see how the hold works out as Patman deals another kill.
Yeah, good initiative for Patman. Also, forcing the stun on out. And with the gate crash back on site, that's another set of utility that he's able to get out from Sipto. Mark Aldo, a chance to make his way in. The flash comes out. Patman, though, still able to go for the whittle down. 10 HP, though. The flash here from Suka again, but Patman sees everything coming his way. And now it's Esports. The pivot to B was successful. They'll get this pistol.
Yeah, despite losing a couple of members onto that A tussle, I think that was really played very well by Zipto for that big sandwich. But the on-the-fly adjustments, the decision-making that NAOS had to do, plant the spike, good hold as well. The initiative, just as you said, for Patman to push at a tower, see someone, if someone's going to come from mid, really solidify that victory to hold down the site.
Yeah, and all across the map, he's just baiting utility, forcing Zipto to peek where he was. And effectively, it's a good drain of resources that NAOS can work with moving forward. But the anti-eco now, here for NAOS. Only 3 guns, so with 2 ghosts on hand. Zipto, they play for mid here, Riku. Double stack also onto Heaven. Classics only. Full eco now for the defense.
Could be a little bit deadly paired with the Sky Flash. I have to be careful with the Paranoia almost at tower. Oh!
PTC. That's the power of the Spectre in this second round. A pick off to begin with. You also have Patman making noise towards A yet again. He's going for ramps actually as Flair tries to look for mid. But Patman now caught out by Markel. Always good on the pinch. A good push here for the Cypher too. Paranoia though, being primed by Sultan. They're still worried about this A main control, but they should be more worried about ramps now. Fixie in position. Mojer is quite low. PTC too. A chance here for Fixie to do some damage, but to no avail. PTC gets the pick. Markel now. Perfect paint shells from Mojer. And he's a victim to the fireworks. It's 4v2 as NAOS get the plant here.
Gonna be a 2-man retake with only a bunch of classics, but they will attempt.
Try from Suka, sure. Low HP, Flaring coming in from the flank. Oh, look away. Flaring has a chance. With 30 HP, Sultan shrugs it off. 2-0. And a good second round here for NAOS, keeping it clean.
So many tagged members, but no other deaths whatsoever aside from the one. NAOS gets to carry over a couple of things on the next round, but again, this stack, the rotations, the mind games going from mid just to keep people guessing on the side of Zipto. And they are rewarded with a 2-0. Not going to keep every weapon anyways, as they are going to upgrade a few on the side of NAOS. Full buy round on Zipto. No ults just yet. So it is going to be purely a utility and a rotation battle, which I feel like NAOS is really good at on split.
Yeah, NAOS purposely choosing the attack with Patman. That's no fake, that's the real one. And Oriza just sees all. A good beginning here for Zipto. Removing the Yoru, who has just been a thorn on their side in many of these initial angles. Fixie still sticking around by Bell. That spike being brought by NAOS towards Garage 2.
Shadows traveling.
Sultan now sets up the smoke, making it hard for Fixie to hold this angle. So plays on the inside of the smoke. Oh, thinking about the swing out, decides to back off into Heaven instead. So a potential pivot to try and put pressure towards those vents. Maybe buy time for Savvy 8K to get the angle into B. But now struggling to make any headway here.
It's really difficult. Everything is pretty much covered. You have to clear the one in tower. You have to clear utility on the side, the opposite side rather. But I'm surprised.
30 seconds left.
Fixie now blinded, but he can play close anyway. BTC setting up the troop part. They haven't spotted the raise as of yet, and they're not gonna see it coming. Fixie now with the pick. Sultan though checking the corner. At least make the trade possible. Suka wins the battle versus Mojo with 5 HP. Sultan trying to do it all, but Flaring will shut him down. Up to Savvy, but it's just no good. And Zipto now, they'll defend and get the round on their bye.
I thought it was, I thought, you know, Flaring, you know, giving up the space on site, it was actually a really huge play as everybody was backing away, as they have already seen it coming, the entire tirade of the rest of NAOS going forward. And it worked well in their favor amongst, you know, all the mess that was happening. And you have Flaring with a very easy angle. Let's see now, though. NAOS has been it has been quite the long rounds for
the series,
the
right?
beginning of Split.
The series too. You can feel it on Bind. You can feel the snail's pace here on Split as well. But Mojer looking for the timing. The gate crash crossing now towards the backside. But Sipto decided to take the initiative. Well placed by flaring the blind into the TP2. Now they get 2. Sultan just merely a victim in that situation. And PTC even spotted. Through the smoke, Suka finds a small angle to work with. And Sipto just erasing NAOS early on into this round here.
Yeah, I love how you mentioned race. We talked about, the snail-paced set of rounds in a row. And then they're like, okay, enough with the snails. It's time for the cheetahs. And Sipto. I had to pick another animal. I'm sorry. What's fast?
The comparison from snail to cheetah. Well, let's see who can be the king of the savannah here in the middle. Patman, Rizza, please. No, the jiggle doesn't work that way.
left.
That hurts. That hurts to watch. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But constantly, even though they're getting picks from across the map, there's still, again, full control, not only because of the numbers advantage, but the utility that, Mark L brings to the table as well. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, no time. We're going here.
10
Yeah,
seconds
Patman
left.
though, forcing the issue. And he's opened up with the 2 already. Time though running out. It needs to be covered. But Savvy can't stick it. Asuka has the angle too. And speaking of 2s, we're tied up 2-2 apiece here.
Yeah, Bermuda Triangle, basically onto B. Everything is pretty much covered onto the crossfire. No time or space to plant. And now, 2-2. It is quite the close start. I mean, it feels very reminiscent of the very beginning of Bind as well. But it does feel like, Zipto has more ground and more, more variety when it comes to how they approach the Split.
I think they can be the playmakers here, honestly, on the defense. You have players like Flaring and Suka who can go for the setup and the knockdown. We've seen it from the promo relegation that Sipto can swing off their own utility. Batman, though, different plan, and he's stuck in traffic. There's just no escape. Everywhere on A side is occupied. And Fixie and Suka will call A their home. 2 apiece for those 2 players. Savvy 8K looking lost in the lights. What a shutdown onto attempt there from Patman. Nice shot by Savvy, but Flaring's there to finish it off, and Sipto now will take this lead.
Yeah, there was no solace at all. No matter where the dimensional drift Yoru came about, Patman just couldn't find any space whatsoever to exit out of that. And right now, Zipto, while some of these rounds feel like it's so close, it does feel like Zipto really has that big upper hand. You bait out sort of this ultimate already away from Patman. They couldn't, convert that into a round win. So this timeout earlier on, a bit of an understandable call, especially we're looking at towards the next round. A Rolling Thunder. You've got key ultimates. They definitely do not want to waste value off of these big ults.
No, that's the thing. They found value for the past few rounds since they made a small adjustment in the middle of the string of rounds there, Riku. Instead of just saying, oh, Batman's doing this, we have to react with the utility. They're making the plays. They're the ones going for those kind of fights. They're the ones posting up a bit closer. And that's where the utility gets value. They can be very oppressive with both the Breach and the Sky together. It's been working so well here for Sipto Esports.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For NAOS, let's see here. They've got a lot of ults on the board, almost for some.
This goes
But
here.
Zipto has the Rolling Thunder to shut everything down if they do want to, come in fast and just really try to aggress much faster.
Well, NAOS, Garage again. Being contested. Quick little boombot to confirm that there's no Sipto push into it. And when smokes come out, it's the triple stack towards mid. You got Fixie though. Prepped and ready with the Outlaw as well as the Showstopper. Only one though with light armor on the NAOS side. That's Sultan. The smokes come out. We've seen this often here from NAOS. Put the smoke into Mail. Make it tough for Sipto to try and hold. But Showstopper is the perfect signal to go with the green light. Fixie gets one, but Mojer has the answer on the other side. Aftershock to try and get the catch. But it's not gonna happen. This Mojer's able to just back on away. Neural Theft though flaring. You're playing with fire. Sultan swings, but flaring is so stable. And flaring finding form in the past few rounds here. He's still in a similar position. Holding on to a smoke. Just if he needs it. The rest of NAOS now. They're considering the swing into B. They're pinging it out, but it's so tough. You have Riza nearby. The Gani light right after the smoke dissipates. Stun 2, ready from Suka. If Mojer decides to go for the cross, he has a tough battle ahead of him. But with 20 seconds left, they have to force the issue. Already, Mojer, he's gone in the blink of an eye. PTC trying to go for the lurk timing. PTC! A chance now made by the tie hopeful. PTC has done it again! But the time is close here, Riku Savvy. I do believe he made it in time. Yes, he does! And the spike planted. Mark out falls! PTC does it all! He can do it all, he can kill them all, and NAOS will equalize!
What a play. What a set of isolated great shots from PTC. Again, it started off really disastrous for NAOS, actually. You know, the showstopper kills, but then here comes PTC to the rescue, really catching the rest of, you know, Zipto off guard, and just really precise shots by this player. And the plant was, you know, came in really clutch, so everything was just perfect timing to make that round work.
No seconds to spare, everything goes right for NAOS in the end, but we've seen them really thrive off those bailout plays there, Riku. It happened a while ago for Bind Right with Mojer. Now, is this the go signal for NAOS after PTC's magic just gets cast in that last round? Much needed timeout here by Sipto. They have so much money to work with. They need to be careful though from fighting those isolated fights when they had such good positions and such a strong hold on that site already.
I agree. It was a 3-man hold onto B, found flaring, found the rest. But yeah, it just means you cannot lower your guard against NAOS, no matter what. And here we go. We talked about the ultimates. Feel like it could be Rolling Thunder over Rolling Thunder. It is a bye round. They want to make this count and break this tie.
Same thing though, NAOS very wary of the initial plays from Sipto. They send out the boom bot as soon as possible towards Garage. PTC putting pressure towards A. And Sipto need to respect that after that last round, but mid, really the point of contention here for NAOS. Vents for the likes of Fixie. You also have the trip art to help out in a pinch. Suka from afar, perfect angle to go for a stun. Fixie's just waiting for that timing. Fake out to get the trigger going. Stun's there. And there's the real Patman. Surprise, surprise. Fixie couldn't decide. It's Patman now finding the push. Suka though, catching out Mojer and the Rolling Thunder. But Suka still able to stabilize by the staircase. Patman though, unrelenting, and the Rolling Thunder is only heard, not seen. Patman though, spotted by flaring. Markel shows up too. And this is where Sipto drives. Good angles in the middle of these fights. And Sipto will keep the lead because of it.
I really thought that was it. Kill the opposite breach player. Remove him out of the equation to make sure that there will be no counter Rolling Thunder afterwards for the retake, but it really doesn't matter. The hold from Zipto being on the right places in the right positions, and you know, even though they weren't able to utilize the Rolling Thunder, it was still their hold. That means they have this surplus, if you will. Again, really impressive. B seems to be such a robust site for Zipto.
Yeah. They've made Stonewall after Stonewall there. And especially that they're able to get a good cycle of angles as they give up that space to NAOS and then look to clean up from behind. Fake out again, as per usual. Patman sending it to cross the tripwire. Trying to exploit, really, some of the changes of the trip recently. Riza, still though, not gonna fall for it. Seeker on hand. Reinforcements in the name of Fixie. Also taking that same position, and this Trailblazer scouts every single corner. They're really making sure Patman isn't lying in wait. Now the flash gets confirmation. Stun comes on out. Sultan looks for the swing. But NAOS unable to find a good angle for the fight. Patman, the one being corralled, really, even by the camera. While this happens here, Riku, the stalemate might get broken by the flag. Fixie instead, the one to shatter those expectations. And the double against the eco, looking good. Riza here, stable onto heaven. The spike in the middle of the map. If they can find some picks, maybe they can retrieve it. Mojer also just getting the backstab onto Riza. Mojer gets a second one there. And this is where NAOS says it's doable. Pickup delivery. Dyname is Sultan. Able to get it in time, and NAOS can go for the plants.
That was just, yeah, this round is not over, but a good showing for both Raze players, for both teams. Patman might find pick.
Patman, he does find it. Saw the attempt there from Suka and Fixie. Now they try to play into heaven, but the showstopper is the warning signal that NAOS is trying to wave in front of Zipto. Paranoia is there too, but Suka still clear sightlines. Can't get the transfer though. Patman ducking for cover. A 2v1. The blind side hits Fixie, but he's still left unchecked. A ring around here. Sultan trying to stalk Patman instead with a trio of kills. And the thrifty for NAOS to turn it back around.
These rounds are crazy. These are quite neck and neck. And I feel like it doesn't... like a first blood doesn't necessarily mean it goes towards in favor of the side that deals first blood. I think that has been a theme for at least Split, and a lot of the seesawing that we're seeing is just a testament on how incredibly close this map is for both of these teams. Now we're going to be seeing Patman on the Dimensional Drift. We didn't get to see that maximized earlier on, so perhaps they do want a set play here on A that didn't work out. Maybe they'll try again and do it right.
Get sagged, but Patman instead playing into heaven. Decoy sense, Fixie, of course, letting the first one through, but it's the second they have to be wary of. The Trailblazer now scouts out the real one. The gate crash to go across the map, and we've seen this play from NAOS before to pivot into this B site. Flaring, understanding the situation, has to back away from the garage. The smokes do come out here, even from the NAOS side. The Dimensional Drift this time, Hiriku is coming into B. Patman pinging, knowing exactly where they're stationed. The stun's so good here from the side of NAOS. And Suka's the victim to that play. NAOS now go to B. The Seeker swarming, trying to at least stall for time. But because of that ultimate here, it does prevent NAOS from feeling safe to play into B. Losing Mojer is another case. Losing Sultan's even worse. But while this happens, it's PTC waiting now for opportunity.
There's a lot. There's still a camera that has yet to be cleared that could provide information. Oh,
30 seconds left.
It didn't see PTC, that's the thing.
that's crazy.
So PTC, this is the moment again, but PTC! Not this time! Riza will deny! And now Esports the ones in trouble. A flag from Fixie. Barrel Pac-Man seen and sewn over. Spike's not even planted. Savvy
10 seconds
making a Coliseum inside the smoke. Good for one, but that's all he gets. And Zipto Esports, we've seen so far here, Riku, they prevent this lead from being taken by their opponents.
Yeah, that really felt like that was supposed to go towards NAOS' side. The adjustments, the first blood over here onto Ali, but things fell apart once CT wasn't exactly covered when PTC fell after not being able to get that pick. It wasn't safe to plant anymore. They were running out of time. And, you know, A wasn't exactly vulnerable because there was still so much information being given. Camera's still there. Tripwire's still pretty much alive. But let's see. A little bit of a broken bye here for NAOS. And it's quite fortified.
Yeah. They've gotten a Thrifty before, though.
Yep, true.
Patman, again, the pressure towards ramps. The swing out comes. Riza with that first contact. And this guy doing well to avoid the stun right after the swing. Smoke and Riza! We've seen that actually from Riza for a few times in this half here, Riku, just picking up players like PTC and Patman. Inside the smoke though here by Mail. Fixie! Fixie, a gladiator! And he's the one who gets the roar of the crowd! A trio of kills for Fixie. Savvy gets a double of his own, but the damage has been done. And Savvy's gonna need an ace clutch just to make this happen.
Get the isolated fights. Problem is, you've got Riza and Asuka doing the buddy system for now. There is 40 seconds. There is quite the time. But there's just so much question marks off of the map.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
And Mark L is in the perfect spot unless he's watching the camera too much.
30 seconds
We
left.
got Savvy now. Saw the Cypher. Mark L has to hustle back towards A. As Savvy decides to try and go for the punish. Flash comes out. There you go. But there's cover from above. And Savvy's good for 3. As Mark L trades it instead. It's okay, Mark L. Rizza died for your cause. But Sipto will get their 6th round.
As the first time, minus the pistol round into the anti-ego, where we get to see a 2-round gap between the two, and it's Zipto winning. And honestly, Fixie towards this position has been quite deadly, always inside the smoke, and just being quite the menace once he decides to push out that area. Now is rewarded with a showstopper after that triple K earlier. I'd be afraid because he's positioned right here in garage.
And he's gotten over a dozen kills just in the first half alone. Fixie having an incredible series here versus NAOS. And he's not done. Showstopper, who wants it? Savvy will take it. It's Sultan though now with a better angle by the box. And he gets the punish onto 2. Sultan though doesn't see Flaring coming. Flaring! The drop down costing him his life. And with it now, NAOS onto the B site. They get intel too thanks to the neural theft. In shells. Getting the swing out from Rizza and the Mark L. But here's the drop into hell. Ali being taken here by Patman and Mojer. Spike planted though. There's also a tripwire actually. PTC was able to hold in reserve. And Sipto deciding to go around the pillar. Flash doesn't get much. Blindside's there. PTC has to do it all. Gets 1. And Mojer from above. Rizza has an inkling of what's going on, but the timing is better for Mojer there. And now finding a 5th round. Overall, this half not too shabby for the attackers.
And it was Zipto pulling the trigger first with a fault line into the showstopper to get a pick, but it was trades after trades. After removing the 3 members that were close onto site, the site was pretty much open for them for the taking, and the wraparound coming from Mojer was really that sealed the deal from Heaven. And again, 1 point gap. This split map has been well split. Haha.
But there's
Thank
the shot,
you.
and that's not even any laughing matter. Riku
Yep,
Fixie
true.
finds Batman, and Sipto get the first pick that Fixie has provided throughout this bout. Rolling Thunder now into play. Got Mojer out there, but Flaring now has been checked. Flaring has been trying to do that trick for way too long. And now just saw that coming. Spike now planted. And Fixie and the rest. Looking for any kind of punish inside those smokes. Seems like it's not the case. Now it's now backing away into the pillar. Up still in the hands of the Rays. The stun comes on out. Rizza gets caught out. Fixie left alone, and with it, Mojer gets the pick. Paintchills again. Good bounce into Savvy swing, and now it's Esports. They're gonna tie up the half to end it 6-6. That'll be the end of the series. Sipto looking for a decider. Looking to make their way into Lotus. They tried to play for mid, but now other plans here towards A main. A push from Mojer and Patman to play a bit aggressive early on. Thinking about breaking the tripwire too, but overall, Sipto finding no contact yet.
Perhaps trying to hunt down Mark L, but already playing with the team. It is going to be players on site on B, but we'll have to see.
Camps there, fault line 2. Now it's right now with the push. And the paranoias get traded between Flaring and Sultan. The blind though ineffective. Flaring still concerned to be swarmed, but Flaring holds his own for the 1. Rizza also giving the trade, giving the advantage here to Sipto. Mojer from above, sure, but the number's still in favor for the offense. Suka now gets the plant going. Paint shells though could be deadly. The regrowth. A timing for Patman perhaps on this flank, but the high-low got 2 staring at garage for Patman. Shreds the boat. And with Markel all alone, it's a bit tough. The camera in position. There comes Patman. He gets the blind, but couldn't get the shot. Markel now still in position here by Hell.
Uh-oh.
Low HP for Markel, low HP for Patman. 1 bullet should be enough for both sides to ring around. And Patman stalking his prey, but time is running out, and it might be Markel with a better angle here. Markel does it, finds the clutch, and the lead is still in Sipto's favor.
there was urgency in the movements of both players, but Markel knew if he played the round calm and collected, cut noise, keep the last player guessing, or pressure Mojer into peeking from heaven. It was quite the rush for both of these players, but in the end, Markel was able to succeed and bridge that gap, lead this round, or sorry, lead this map into a 7-6. These rounds are so close every single time.
Well, as soon as Sipto realized Naos was going to push after that tripwire broke, they were expecting it on all fronts, and a big reason why they got the advantage in the favor, flaring, Riza, so stable outside the garage. And speaking of garage now, it's still the forces of Sipto looking to play into B. Mid taken though by Naos.
Oh.
You have Patman leading the charge on the left, still unspotted.
Portal closed.
Riza holding the rear, and opportunity here for Patman. It's a flash out, trigger discipline. 2 targets, 2 fall. Patman pulling the trigger to get as much as he can in that timing. And Sipto Esports didn't expect to lose that many players early on. Pick up the guns from this point on, but the numbers in favor of Naos now.
Yep, sneaky. That was 2-1. Pretty worth. No gate crash to bail him out. But this would put Zipto at the back ends to hesitate a little bit. This time around it is going to be B, but they've left Sultan at least to spot this out. I thought he was going to move away from Ali. But 20 seconds. This is it.
Fixing the rest now. Swarming the site. Sultan though.
Spotted.
It's a bit of intel, yeah. Spotting out the opposition. He's waiting here onto the corner, and a perfect chance to get the right click going. The pick comes, and Markel finds the trade. Still Vandal and the Guardian. Big firepower in the hands of Sipto. But now, they have the Aftershock and the Pain Shells to work with. The smokes, though, making it difficult to cross from heaven. And with it now, flaring. Keeping an eye out towards Garage, but the timer ticks. Flash comes on now. It's Tripwire, though, gets the trigger. Savvy AK found by flaring early on, and flaring and Markel only need themselves to hold that off. An 8th round here for Sipto Esports.
Where will they go this time?
Really nicely done. I thought somebody was going to go come from Ali and pick up an upgrade, but there wasn't a lot of time anymore. But this opening pick coming from the side of NAOS was really, truly important. But unfortunately couldn't deliver the following, what do you call this, win, as it is a bunch of classics on the ends of NAOS Esports. Now, things are looking to be interesting here. We've seen NAOS in this position before, but earlier on Bind, second half, it was them in the lead where Zipto had to play catch-up. This is entirely different. Patman now close to the dimensional drift. Let's see if they decide to play aggressive. Looks like that's going to be a no and just wait it out.
Yeah, Sultan here. Again, feeling the pressure. A bonus in here for Fixie. And Mojer also holding towards the corner as Sipto do flood the site. They have that bad side control. Markel gets the one, but now osmosis them all down. Blink and you miss it. Sipto, they just get eradicated. And now it's finally getting on the board here in the second half.
It's so jarring how it does feel like some of the rounds are, you know, quite similar, but just executed much more differently, and more like the mid game to late game is very different. But looking at that round where it just ended so quickly, it was both a buy round, right? And it's just so jarring to see afterwards the switch up in approach for Zipto and how NAOS reacted to that as well. So it might be a sign that NAOS has the read now, but I feel like it will be the determining factor on if it's truly a read is how they utilize this dimensional drift from Patman.
Buy round here for Sipto. You saw the flash early on. And here's the blindside in response. Now it's contesting mid as much as they can. Sipto just decided to go for the disengage. Early presence and pressure applied here by NAOS. They even go for the smoke out now. The Trailblazers the response. So NAOS and Sipto trading utility as much as they can to keep mid at bay. But Sipto will relent and they're going to go for A instead.
It's a good read. They have the rotates from Patman as well. Can even activate his ult just to cause chaos once they press the go button.
Cyber Cage to allow the cross to happen into A main. Most of the pressure on PTC now. Gets stunned on that. Patman though will find Otasuka, and PTC still has an angle to work with. Tripwire now gives him the intel that someone's on site. Markel, as soon as the veil drops at PTC, who's automatic with that one. Dimensional drift, we see it here, and now Esports on the other hand. Just go for the swarm yet again. Same case, different sites. 8-8 here.
I love this from NAOS Esports. The switch up, the very contrasting switch up. I will allow Zipto Esports to come into site. We can just sort of play retake as 5. And it feels like the early contact hasn't been working out so well into early trades. It's much better for them to just do a coordinated swarm, just as you said, and give that site. So Zipto, on the other hand, well, back to Ego for them. So this might be NAOS in the lead. Maybe. That's still a bunch of sheriffs. I wouldn't count them out just yet.
Yeah, and if Fixie can get up close with the Bucky, then there is a chance. Satchels now to try and fly by. But as soon as he gets any elevation, Mojer just grounds him as soon as he shows on up. There's no way really for Sipto to play the entry in those scenarios. And Mojer too, holding by Heaven. Markel getting whittled down behind the box, no escape. Reason flaring though, making the pistols pack a punch, but Mojer has found 4, and Patman shows up to end it on a high note. 9-8 here. NAOS has finally taken the lead away from Sipto.
Yep, slightly expensive, but that's okay. I do believe NAOS has enough economy here on the following round, but let's take a look at that again. It all started here when the first wave of execution has been denied and has been grounded. And then Mojer just really spraying the hurt onto ramps. But let's see though, Operator, this is the first time we're going to be seeing the Operator in this map. So, actually, second time. But we'll have to see how this works out. Maybe you can spot out Mark L over here onto lobby. On main.
Well, Mojer. Man's waiting from ramps. Showstopper 2 in the pinch. With most of Sipto playing into mid yet again. It's been their default so far. A 1-3-1 setup yet again. Flaring. Good from playing outside the garage. You send the Trailblazer. And Mojer still trying to go for the catch on Markel. This timing isn't going to work out for either. Mojer can't hit the shot. Markel will call for the disengage. And this means NAOS now exposing the Operator. The pressure's put towards that B side. Sultan knows that garage is being taken here bit by bit. Even with the smoke here, they have a small angle to work with. Seekers now into play. Tripwire though is something Fixie runs into. And Patman finally catching out Markel. Sultan though stable. The anchor finds a double. Savvy from above, and that is it again. We've seen Sipto corralled into these sites, and now just slay them where they stand.
Yeah, it is, again, just pure silence at the very beginning. Just try to scout out for more information. Yes, it didn't work out through, they couldn't find Mark L, but at the very end, time was ticking. It was a bit restrictive on the side of Zipto, and now it's just played safe. I'ma pull back. I'ma just play with my team, do some crossfires, and that seems to be the more effective approach. Let them in, because we're gonna kill them anyways.
Yeah, and quick little timeout here from the likes of Sipto. It's a struggle now on the offense. They just can't find the entry here, Riku.
Yeah, having to deny entry, just really pulling back and deny information at all is just really what's preventing from Zipto getting these opening picks, which they were able to get during the first and, little bits and pieces during the second half, especially during the beginning of that pistol. But I feel like now the adjustment, it's very similar to what we saw on Bind, and it's just really nice to see how, the mind conditioning is there as well. It's like a switch. It's like a totally different strategy from what we've seen round after round after round. It's very different. So the timeout had to be called just to also, break that conditioning. Like, okay, this is totally different now. We have to swap or switch ourselves.
I mean, the biggest reason right now NAOS is winning these rounds has to be the fact that there's still someone around the site to put that pressure on. Sipto have struggled to make big headway into the objective. We've seen it get trapped towards the back of B, towards the main angle of A, and it's been a struggle for the Sipto squad, as NAOS have taken a lot of control actually throughout the map, especially Heaven. We've seen players like Savvy peek out right after that first contact to get immediate trades and immediate numbers in to the defensive's favor. But as of now, slow play again from Sipto. A hero rifle in the hands of Flaring, who has Garage under his control. But most of NAOS, they play into Heaven, keeping that elevated angle for themselves. The smoke thrown here by Sultan too, but he might get the timing onto Fixie. Checked away though into the corner. Suka, and they go alongside him. Set up perhaps a flash. Oh, it's a dry peek here from the likes of Sipto. Sultan gets one, but here comes Savvy. The Phantom, fast on the fire rate and fast on the trigger. It's 4v1 as Flaring, the only one with the rifle now. Looking to at least find some damage along the way.
Yeah, caught off of utility there. Quite unfortunate timing for Fixie. A great read from Savvy AK. And they are rewarded for that with a spike stuck in the middle. Now it's a bit of a hunting ground with the last player alive, but this will put NAOS at 11-8.
10 seconds
gives them, gets them closer and closer to match point. And we know how NAOS operates. If they feel like they're going to win, at least when we saw Bind, they really want to not allow any sort of chances for the opposition or Zipto to come back.
I mean, NAOS right now, their style here has to be very suffocating. And actually, I've gotten talked to Amix, and he did say, coming into this year, coming into VCTC, a different style, a different approach into the game, very different look into NAOS. And the fact that these players individually can be scary, can pop off. There's so much confidence for this NAOS roster right now that they can bring many different elements from every single learned lesson they've had throughout the years into the matches. That's the confidence that the coach was telling me about. And right now, they're confidently racking up these rounds. Showstopper. How did Savvy survive the first blow? But here comes Mojer delivering the same to Flaring. So 1-for-1, PTC in the cyber cage peering down from below. But even gods cannot smile against PTC. It's 3v3 as the pivot to A is looking likely. Sultan though does get flashed on up. An inkling perhaps at Heaven, still held here by NAOS. Neural theft though from PTC, and Sultan strikes when the iron is hot. Mark L doesn't see it coming. Advantage now here for NAOS as Sipto get the plant.
That's crazy stuff. For the side of NAOS really anticipating the rotation, and it's a sandwich.
Oh, Sultan, just so decisive with these picks. And Sultan again shows up, the front line for Mojer, who gets the trade in the end. And NAOS Esports has just not let go of this lead at all here, Riku. They've racked up a streak, and now they're here at 12. Match point, series point for NAOS.
Every single angle was covered and anticipated for the side of NAOS. And now Zipto, it's a grasp for straws. Let's take a look at that again. I have no idea how Savvy AK survived the first iteration of that, but they were doing trades. This was very clever from PTC. I'm gonna use this on this round, on where it's very crucial to get match point. So it was the perfect play to use at the perfect round. So the scary part is, on this round now, they do have Rolling Thunder. The same thing could be said for Suka. So we could see bodies flying across the sky here. If we get to see that happen, I would love to see that happen.
Well, if Riku wants a spectacle, it's time for Sipto to provide the show. Here comes Sipto in a do-or-die scenario. They lose this, that's the end of the series. And now, still have Heavy Heaven as ramp control. Fixie, though, shrugs off the last bit of that fight. Gets Regen on HP thanks to the regrowth. Regen shield also, allowing him to fight yet again. So Fixie effectively, another chance and another pick. Fixie providing whatever he can here for Sipto. Fixie falls now, but the Riz is there right behind. And Patman left to a 1v3. Likely now, job's not over yet. Sipto survived to tell the tale into another round.
Wow, Zipto, they're able to destroy, Savvy AK, which was the most crucial member on that retake, the one with the Rolling Thunder. That means they get to keep theirs. That means they can do, go one step closer to, try and enforce overtime here. Let's see now, NAOS, what would be the safe play here, as they do want to ensure, but also they do have that big buy round as well. they have the dimensional drift available after that one orb. So that's something to respect by Zipto.
Yeah, Naos, shades of the past perhaps, struggles sometimes to close things out. Zipto though, here they come into A yet again, but Patman, he's decisive over at the corner. A quick bailout with the gate crash, and that's already one, make that two. Flaring found for free, and Naos now will take the initiative again.
Oh my God.
Rolling Thunder answered by the counter stun, but Suka doesn't matter what he can do if Moja's in his face. Here comes Batman, but Rizza is looking precise. The Seeker's now into play. Gets the intel here. Zipto has an inkling of what's going on, so that intel, perfection versus Sultan. But Savvy finds Markel in response. It's up to Rizza here. 55 HP left, spike on hand. Waiting to see, but Savvy gets a drop on him, and Naos, they've done it again. They take the win and they take the series. It's 2-0 to begin their campaign here.